In the heart of the Mediterranean, on the island of Crete, a fortress stood defiant against the tide of empire. Candia, now known as Heraklion, was the crown jewel of Venetian holdings, an impregnable bastion of Renaissance engineering, trade and pride. But in 1648, the Ottoman Empire, relentless in its expansion, cast its gaze upon Crete. What followed was not a swift conquest, but a 21-year siege, one of the longest in recorded history. The war began with a thunderclap. Ottoman forces landed on Crete and quickly seized most of the island. Only Candia held out, its walls bristling with cannons, its defenders resolute. The Venetians, masters of naval warfare, used their fleet to keep the city supplied and reinforced. The Ottomans, determined to break the stalemate, dug trenches, built siege works, and launched wave after wave of assaults. But Candia refused to fall. The siege became a grinding war of attrition. Disease ravaged both sides, supplies dwindled. Diplomats from Venice pleaded with European powers for aid, invoking the spectre of Ottoman dominance. France sent troops. Papal envoys rallied support. Yet the help was piecemeal, and the Ottomans remained unyielding. Inside Candia, life was a paradox of courage and despair. Soldiers manned the ramparts, repelling attacks with fire and steel. Civilians endured hunger, fear, and the constant threat of bombardment. Venetian commanders rotated in and out, each trying to outlast the inevitable. The turning point came in 1669 when Francesco Morosini, the Venetian commander, realized the city could no longer hold. After 2 decades of resistance, he negotiated surrender. The terms were honorable. Venetian citizens could leave, and the defenders were spared. But the fortress, the island, and the dream of Venetian Crete were lost. The siege of Candia wasn't just a military event, it was a symbol. It marked the decline of Venetian power and the rise of Ottoman dominance in the eastern Mediterranean. It showcased the evolution of siege warfare, where patience and engineering triumphed over brute force, and it left behind a legacy of endurance, sacrifice, and the haunting question: how long can a city resist before history moves on?